There's a really significant moment coming up in the gardener's calendar, the end of May, which is traditionally the time when the last frost for the summer has passed and made our gardens cold. And that means that you can plant out tender flowers, things like petunias, which are from South America, their cousins, begonias, lobelias, all beautiful summer bedding plants for your borders, or more specifically for pots and hanging baskets. These are plants that don't like cold weather, and if you put them out too early, not only will you lose your flowers, you might lose your plants, and you'll certainly lose money. And it's not only flowers that you have to be careful to plant at the correct time. It applies to vegetables as well, and there are some that I just wouldn't be without. Every year I look forward to fresh tomatoes grown and picked in my own garden. And then there are potatoes, a vegetable that the kids all love, particularly when they've been cut and fried into chips. And chili peppers, I grow dozens of them every year because I just love them, particularly the super spicy plants. And potatoes, tomatoes and chilies are, like petunias, all South American, so they rely on warm weather to do well. Other plants in this greenhouse are from faraway climes as well, the other side of the world. Pelargoniums, most people call them geraniums, they're South African, and like tomatoes and like chilies, if you buy them from a greenhouse, if you come to a nursery like mine or a garden centre, well, they're not going to take it too kindly if you just plonk them straight out in the cold soil in your garden. You have to acclimatise them, harden them off is the gardener's expression for this. And all you do is you just leave them outdoors in the day so they can get used to the cooler conditions, and then if cold is forecast, you either cover them with fleece or pop them inside your porch or greenhouse during the night. If you do that, they toughen up, and when you do plant them out in pots or in grow bags, they will get away just fine. Monitoring the weather in your garden will, of course, help you keep an eye on the watering, particularly in the borders. But if you're not sure and you think the soil is drying out, well, the way to know when to water is to dig down next to your plants with a trowel, and if the soil below the surface is bone dry, that's the time to get out the hose before your plants start showing signs of wilt or distress. In pots, it's a little more tricky. You can say you've got a pot full of foliage like this, it's a pittosporum. What happens is when it rains is that this lovely canopy of leaves acts like an umbrella, stopping the compost below from getting any moisture at all. So the way to check whether a pot needs a drink or not is to lift it up. And if you can pick it up the ground as easy as that, well, the fact of the matter is it's hardly got any water in, and that means it's time to give your plant a drink. Now, whether you're watering plants in the ground or containers like this one, the name of the game is to water low down. There's two reasons for that. One is if you get the foliage all wet, you're more likely to get fungal diseases. That's particularly true of roses and flowering plants and tomatoes. Keep that foliage dry. Also, if you water close to the ground, less is lost to transpiration and it helps keep your water bills lower. Put you back there. Crikey, that's a lot heavier. The Met Office website is packed with information giving you all the details you need about the weather at your specific postcode. There's information on the maximum minimum temperatures, the average rainfall and the hours of sunshine, and best of all, the 5-day forecast, which is the tool to use if you're planning a bit of work in your garden over the weekend. So here's to a long and hot summer and happy planting.